Greetings, my fellow wanderers of the moonlit nights of France. And it's Verdun. I know, it's what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. Wow, you haven't played this in a while. And that's correct. I was staying away from traditional gameplay videos because I didn't think they were popular, but then someone actually came into the Discord the other day and actually said, "Where are these? I like them." And that kind of filled me with confidence. And I like making them too. So we're just going to throw this out there. I think I might edit these down a little bit maybe in future to avoid transitionally deaths and assholes like Frank Nazier or Franz Nazier from cheap-shotting me. And I do have a couple of stupid skit ideas about weapon comparisons in this game I'd like to try. But for now, let's just do a traditional gameplay thing. Why the hell not? Now, the second question some of you are asking, and I know a specific German supporter out there will be asking this, why the hell are you playing as the bloody cheese-eating surrender monkey French? Well, the answer to that is this rifle, the Berthier M16, or M16 rifle. And the reason I am using this particular rifle is because I've recently, well, last month or so, purchased a real-life one of these. That's correct. One of my hobbies is collecting antique firearms. Second World War or earlier. I personally prefer First World War. And I got myself one of these. So, I have not fired it yet, because sourcing ammunition for this thing is like, I wouldn't even say panic pining for gold, because it's probably easier for me to pine for gold. It's more like mining for platinum on the moon or something. So, I thought we'd just, to give myself a taste for what potentially using this rifle would be like in the future, we would have a look. Now, I must admit, it is rather, the bolt does feel quite the same. It looks the same. If you look in the lighting there, it's got the same markings on the side, the same sights. I never really give enough props to Verdun devs for how their weapons are authentic and actually look. But this looks very nice. Short, lightweight, the bolt is easy to cycle. It seems like it's actually a faithful adaptation. Oof. Of course, being killed by an Adolf. Frickin' Adolf. That's actually a question. After the Second World War, I know Hitler went really out of fashion in terms of a name. Except for Indonesia and some of the frickin' weird places like that. But did Adolf go out of style as well? You don't really hear of too many Adolfs anymore. It's interesting how one person's actions can completely ruin a name. It's just an interesting cultural fact of history. Yes, we're attacking. Jeez. Holy crap, this thing's fast bolt and short size made that bloody survivable. You cannot empty... Oh, that's right. It has a weird stripper clip style system that you can't actually empty the magazine. It's 5-round bolt capacity. The previous 1892 Moskatoon, or Berthier Moskatoon, only had 3 rounds. This is the 5-round version with the M16 upgrade. Upgrades the M16, gave it 5-round capacity. If I was aiming down sights, I would have got him, but I bloody was hip firing. Oh dear. Oh yes, while we're examining the rifle, may as well go over my one. It's interesting, my one is serial number 4782, so it was one of the first 5,000 made, which is good. Matching bolt, which is nice, that's always something good to have. Very well cleaned, very well maintained. A tiny little speck of rust on the receiver, but it was, easily sort of buffed out. It wasn't too much to worry about. Woodwork, quite a few, sort of little knocks and things in it, but, I mean, it's a 100-year-old rifle. What do you expect? Alright, where are we going? Over here, follow the screaming. What else? No original markings. It's interesting, following the markings, it appears to have still been in French, at least French Army inventory in 1936. because I like going over the markings and having a look what they mean. So, it's quite possible that my own M16 actually maybe not served in the Second World War, but it was definitely around for the Second World War. Would have been interesting to know. That's one of the things I love about collecting historical antique rifles, is they have so many stories behind them. Like, I have a Martini Enfield. Oh, you're British. Damn it, that's the old bloody French army tradition. French tradition. You see an Englishman and you shoot at them. It's just what the last 1,000 years of French history has bred into them. I think I told the story in the Verdun video before about how my great-grandfather in the First World War was talking to a German prisoner. And the German prisoner was honestly shocked that the Germans were, and the English weren't teaming up to fight the French. It was just one of those things. But yes, so historical rifles have so much history to them. My Martini Enfield I have, if you look at the markings and serial numbers and stuff on it, it was actually a Martini Henry Mark III manufactured in 1882. And then it was sent back to the factory in 1888 for refits and refurbishment. Then it was sent back again to the factory in 1890. Then after that it was sent to back to the factory in 1900 to change the barrel from 577 to 303. Then it was sent to New Zealand Army in South Africa. Then from the New Zealand Army in South Africa it was sent back to New Zealand, where it remained as a reserve home guard rifle until it was sold out of service in 1953. So right there you have a rifle whose history is 140 years, spanning multiple countries and continents. God knows how many people used it, relied upon it, you know. I mean, yes, it may have taken lives, but people are prudish about that sort of thing. In fact, I knew a guy who, when I was working as a park ranger, a guy I used to work with, he had a rule. He was very superstitious. Well, apparently his wife was the driving force behind it, but he agreed with it. He was not allowed to have any rifles that served in the war, or any war, because he believed it to be tapu, or a bad omen to have any weapon that spilled blood in his house. So it's just an interesting sort of tidbit. Whereas I tend to like to collect rifles that have some sort of military. Oh, point blank shot. Some sort of historical or military capacity, capability, service record, whatever you want to call it. Alright, you're an Anzac. Mate, you don't bloody announce yourself. I mean, you should bloody announce yourself. Fuck. I've worn gas masks before, and this is actually what it's like. It's fucking disorientating and bulky and heavy and irritating as shit. I hope the gas fades soon. But yeah, I just love collecting historical rifles. And I've recently joined the Historical Rifle Society of New Zealand, or the Antique Arms Society. And I've also joined, well, I need to sign the membership forms, but I've been talking about joining the Historical Reenactment Society, the First and Second World War Historical Reenactment Society. Which does lead me to my other thing. It's kind of one of those things of, if I join, I'm going to buy myself there's a company in the UK that make and export blank firing Second World War weapons. So I'm either going to get into the Historical Reenactment Society and buy myself a Thompson, or I'm going to buy there's a very nice 1905 Swedish Army Mauser that some guys got for sale. And that's the thing, Swedish Mausers are good, I like them, but I love a proper Mauser. I guess 6.5 is easier to find ammunition for than 8mm. But you want the K98, you want the classic thing. Though there's so many bloody variations of the Mauser that it'd be hard to know when to stop. Damn. I must admit, the bolt is actually that fast for firing. It's one of the smoothest bolts I've ever actually used. Probably a 303 bolt, maybe second. But the fact that you can just cycle the bolt that quick is what makes this thing very nice in game, and what it'll be interesting to see, because I do historical competition shooting, if it will make it just as fast for historical competitions as well. Ooh. I cannot believe I bloody survived that. Well, I killed like 8 Germans. It was bloody good shit. Very nice from this little thing. But yeah, so that's what's been up with me in terms of firearms lately. I know I sound like a bit of a nerd, but I do love this sort of stuff. It's interesting. When I was younger, though, I was only interested in like AK-47s and M16s and, you know, XM8 assault rifles and all the modern shit. But as I've gotten older, it's more the historical I'm going for. Which is also ironic, because I had so many options when I was younger to collect historical rifles that I didn't take up. Like, someone was selling a Carcano, Italian Carcano 1938 for like $300, and I didn't want it. And then a mate of mine was going to sell me his number 4 1942 Lee Enfield for $300. No, it was $320 actually. And I didn't take that either. And now, looking back at the past, I'm kicking myself and going, holy shit, I was a fucking moron. I should have taken those deals. I mean, I have a Carcano now. I've got a 1940 Carcano. With the exception of America, I have one firearm from each of the major powers in the Second World War. I've got a couple from the First World War, but I don't have too many. Like, Austro-Hungarian shit is nearly impossible to find. I did have a line on a 1907 Mosin Nagant, but I do have a 1942 Mosin Nagant, so it's kind of, do I want to double up on the same rifle just for the different ages and things? It's kind of nuanced that way. But I do so much enjoy the older firearms. You know, bit of a firearm MILF chaser than a more younger polymer and plastic type of guy. Which kind of applies to real life as well. But we're not going into that today. I already hear some of you typing questions, but those people on my Discord already know my preference in that regard. Alright. Alright. Think I got him. Push up. Ah! Bloody hip firing again. And fucking Adolf, Herr Hermann. You know that bastard will end up joining the fucking Nazi party in like 36. And then he'll join the bloody SS. No, he'll be too old to join the SS. He'll be like a bloody reservist or something. He'll probably get killed by the RAF in a bombing raid or something. Good on the RAF. One down. Ooh, bollocks. Completely flanked there. I really wish I could have some backup sometimes playing this game. I played this game with a few people before. I think the maximum I've ever played it with is 3. And it's nice to have someone covering your back and being able to set up positions without, you know, relying on the AI, which is not entirely reliable. Also, there was 5 people on the online earlier when I was playing, when I started this up. I hope they haven't all left the server. Oh wow, they've all gone. Jeez. I deliberately picked this server because there were people here. I was kind of wanting to play with people. Fucking Adolf Hermann, you Nazi party cock. Right, Adolf Hermann is going on the Nazi party list. If we ever encounter an Adolf Hermann in real life, you must punch them in the nose. This is my decree. Alright, you bloody German puffs. Run into my muzzle, Jerry. Come on. Oh. Oh. Retreating Frenchmen and Englishmen. Get back here, lads. Come on, get back to the position. Alright, good. We've got a good little peephole. Decent sight lines. Gas! Gas! We don't want to be the attack of the dead man. Fuck you, Jerry. Yes, and in fact that extends to the bloody Rick and Morty Jerry as well. Fuck you, Jerry. You're the worst character. I stopped watching after season, like halfway through season 3. I think the fan base really makes that show insufferable. Although you don't have to interact with the fan base to watch the episodes, but even so, I felt the show was getting a little bit too up itself. I don't know, but suppressive fire, shit, that is a movement. There is movement in there. No one. Okay, we've got riflemen over that side. No one else is covering me. I feel very alone and exposed in this position. That guy's a freaking badass just standing out in the open like that. Almost feel bad for that German. All the years of training and surviving in the trenches, sneaking up, you know, charging forth, sneaking up, thinking he's got the drop on that soldier, and then just a Frenchman just appears from around the corner and puts a shot to his chest. And he's dead. And he won't be returned back to his family. He won't be buried. Well, he'll be buried, but he won't be returned back to his family. And there's no going to be specific grave for him. No, you know, evidence of his achievements. He's just going to be buried in the trench. Dirt's going to be poured over top of the trench, fill it in. And he's just going to, you know, sit under a field in France. Like all of these other guys. Alright, take this ugly, bulky, heavy shit. Oh. Bollock. Artillery. That's another unnoble way to go. I suppose getting shot in the head's not very noble, but you know. Alright, Frenchman managed to do that. That's good. I just want to crouch. No, I'm just looking to crouch. There we go. Thank you for yelling charge at an inappropriate level, you weird English people. Alright, come on, moving up forward. Oi, this isn't a bloody dance party, American. 3 kills, not bad. Damn. I do want to find ammo for my real one of these, although maybe slightly cynical of me, but when I'm firing really old guns that have taken ages for me to source ammo for, I'm always like, whenever I pull the trigger, there's always that voice in the back of my head going, and that's $2 gone? And it's always like, shut up, brain. Like my Arisaka Type 38, it cost 60 bucks for 40 rounds, and I fired like 10 rounds when I first restored it, and I was kind of going, wow, I just spent 30 bucks, and it's just like, ooh. Although, I suppose that's the other good thing, like, because we're such a Commonwealth country, 303 ammunition's pretty cheap, like, 30 bucks for 20 rounds. The military stuff is it's not too bad. As I said, that's why I've been using my Lee Enfield and my Martini Enfield a lot at the range lately. Just because 1942 ammunition is so cheap. think I've only got one round left. And I would be right. Damn, I am good at subconsciously counting my ammo. Bloody German swine. German Schweinhund! I must admit, this game is so much better without the HUD. It's just nicer. It feels more authentic. I wouldn't play it VR, but you could also play it VR kind of thing. I hear Beyond the Wire is pretty good, but the two things that turn me off that... Damn it! I raised the rifle, but just didn't have the time to fire. The two things that turn me off Beyond the Wire is apparently no Australian servers, and me connecting to US servers is gross. It's about 300 ping, and I'm on 30 megabyte internet download, so it's, I think the high, and it's ultra fiber, so it's kind of the highest I can do. No, I was on 30 megabyte download. I did get fiber. I don't know what my upload and download speed is now. Bollocks. I'd have to look at that. But even so, connecting to US servers is about 200 to 300 ping for West Coast. East Coast is about 400. And European servers is just, that's bloody 500 ping. And it's literally unplayable. I think when I used to live on rural internet, like when I lived out in the countryside, I tried to connect to a Mountain Blade server that friends of mine were on. And the connection was 1 million ping, which I just think takes the award for me for highest ping I've ever attempted. This thing is bloody great. Frenchman, you scared the shit out of me. This thing is bloody great for quick trench clearing. Don't think that killed him. I think I hit him in the shoulder. In reality, he probably would have survived that wound. Yeah, try and retreat from that, Jerry. Oh, this thing... keep team shooting. Now identify yourselves. I can't speak your moon language, Frenchman. Speak English. Shit. You know, someday, maybe when I have a bigger collection, or when I actually have a camera that's not my phone camera. I've wanted a GoPro for a while, so I could do some live action stuff, but it's just, it is a bit of an investment. I'd love to do a showcase of my historical rifles. I just pull them all out on the table and just go through them. Because I've got Lee Enfields, Mosin Nagant, Arisaka, Carcano, the Berthier, Martini Enfield. Maybe that Swedish Mauser, but we'll see. So either the Swedish Mauser or that fully metal Blank Thompson submachine gun. Frenchman. Even odd things like I've got a one of the rarest Baikal double shotguns. They only made was it 13,000 of this particular pattern that I have. Believe it or not, I only bought it because I never owned it. I didn't own a shotgun at the time. It was $150, and the stamped in USSR stamping on it actually found intriguing. Because I was like, wow, this thing's at least got to be older than 95 sort of thing. And that's why I bought it, but once I did some research on it, it's like, oh, this thing's actually slightly rarer than I thought it was. Oldest rifle I've got is definitely the 1882. Okay, weird German. That 1882 Martini Henry. Although it was rebarreled in 1900. So it's kind of one of those questions of, do you go by the when it was rebarreled, or do you count the frame as the rifle? Oh, we lost. Probably because I haven't played this game in 2 months. And more likely because we were French. Filthy Frenchmen ruining France. Frothy Frenchman frolicking Frenchly. I'll work on it.